All right, welcome back to the channel, Dillajaff Ballistics. Thanks for watching. So today I've got my my 308, and this was supposed to be my cool semi-auto fucking long range wannabe dumbass fucking sniper rifle. And funny story about this thing: a few years ago, I started my job where I'm making really good money, and I went to the gun show. And we get a vacation check at the end of every year in December. And my first year, I didn't have direct deposit. So I got the check and deposited. I had to wait a week before the funds were available. And on that weekend was the gun show. And I spotted this upper at the gun show. And I was like, that's the upper I want. It was complete upper, minus the scope and the bipod. And I said, that's the upper I want to build my 308 sniper. And I didn't have the money. I couldn't buy it. I was disappointed. And I was like, that's okay. Next year, it's fucking game on. So next year rolls around. Had my direct deposit set up. Went to the gun show. There it was. I bought it. And yeah, Sonia looked at me like, really? And I said, you're damn right. So at any rate, bought an Anderson lower. Got my parts kit installed, got my buffer stock, A2 style stock installed, got my Vortex Crossfire scope, and got a bipod, which I had to make some modifications for that. I'll show you that here in a second. And got it all put together. We went out New Year's Day, and it chambered good. Everything went okay, but when I fired it, it wouldn't cycle and strip the next round. And it spit the spent casing out, but it wouldn't strip the next round and load it. So I need to go play with this thing and figure out if I need to do something with the gas block or the buffer or whatever I need to do. I don't think it's the buffer, because I can cycle it enough by hand to make it strip the next round. But that's by hand. So with the gas system, it might be something with the buffer. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this out. So I'm going to do some research on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a couple of things to this. I'll show you my modifications for the bipod and the reason I'm doing that. Basically, the reason is this was a 6 to 9 inch. Yeah, 6 to 9 inch extension bipod. And with it being up here, it doesn't elevate the front of the rifle enough. It's like an inch short of elevating the rifle enough to you can't like I don't know how to explain it. You're kind of shooting straight or down, more down than straight or up. You know what I mean? So you can't get enough elevation out of the rifle. So I made some plates to bolt onto the side of the handguard here that drop this down to about 1.5 inches to about here. So I got all my M-LOK hardware now. I got the plates done. They're painted. We'll go ahead and get that put on and move on to the next mod, which I'll show you here in a second. So here's what I made for my extensions. I just took 2 steel plates, drilled 2 holes for the M-LOK hardware here on the handguard, and then I went and used my friend's mill and milled these out for the locating lugs on the back of the mount for the bipod. So just M-LOK hardware there and there to bolt it to that, and then M-LOK hardware there and there to bolt onto the handguard. All right, just got back home. Had to take a break and run to the gun store because someone at Magpul must have been looking at hot dogs and hot dog buns and said, what a great idea. And they put 4 screws and 2 nuts in their package of M-LOK hardware, replacement hardware. 4 screws and 2 nuts. Well, what if you need 4 fucking nuts? I mean, come on. But you know what? The shop had a bunch of little keychains and shit, little guns, all kinds of stuff, but they had grenades. They didn't have frags. They only had baseballs. And that made me laugh, so I bought it. But yeah, 4 screws, 2 nuts. Seriously? Oh, and in case you're wondering, that's what I'm listening to. Damn right. Okay, so I got my little side plates mounted there on either side, and we'll put the arms back on in a minute. But the next thing I'm going to do, since I've got this apart still, is I'm going to put this bad boy on here. This is the Devil Dog Concepts side charging system for the AR-10 traditional handle. Man, look these things up. They're pretty cool. I've been wanting to try one for a while, so I went ahead and got one, and we're going to put it on this rifle, and I don't know, see how I like it. So here's what's in the box. You've got the side charging handle and the charging handle that comes with it, the mount. You get the 2 Allen wrenches you need, and I think that's a sticker in there. And you get a really nice instruction sheet. Lays it out real basic and simple how to install it. Extra shims if you need them, and a warning here for the reverse thread screw up here at the tip. So let's put this thing on. Okay, so here's the side charging handle. Well, the charging handle with the side charger installed. And it's a little bit tricky, but once you wrap your head around the instructions, it goes together. And I don't know if I can do this. But essentially, I put the side charging handle on your AR rifle. Hold on. Okay, we'll edit that a little bit out, but so your charging handle's locked in place. Don't mind my nasty fingernail. It's locked in place like it's supposed to. Grab the charging handle, pull it back, let it go. Just like that. Makes it a lot easier to run your charging handle when you got a scope on here, which it's going to be on here. So let me put the rest of the rifle back together. All right, so now that I've got everything back on, the scope back on, you can see what I'm talking about with a charging handle and your scope here. Trying to get in here and work the charging handle just makes it rather difficult. So with this system, you grab it right there. No sweat at all. And I got my plates up there, extending my bipod legs, which before, with like that, the rifle was actually pointing down, and I can already see the improvement in it pointing upwards. So once I get out there to the range, I can extend the legs and take it from there. Now I did have to move my scope forward 1 slot on the Picatinny, but I should be okay. And we'll check that out when we get out to the range too. Then the next thing I just got to solve is this thing not cycling and stripping the next round, which I think that's going to boil down to the buffer that I have in here. So that'll be an easy fix. But that's it. Devil Dog side charger and my homemade custom bipod plates. The reason I made these is because this bipod, I liked this style because it mounted to the side of your handguard here, which I thought was very practical. You didn't have a bunch of junk hanging down the bottom right here. And so I bought it, put it on there. It wasn't tall enough. Nobody makes anything that will extend down like this. Nobody at all. So this to me was the simplest solution. And it works. So that's it. That's my 308 back together. Can't wait to try it out. Thanks for watching.